a Nephilim grew tired of the conflict and employed his asp blaster. Twin strings of yellow lightning, twisting from the snake-like projectors, wound around his wrist. The powerful bolts struck Grant solidly, and he collapsed to his hands and knees. The other Nephilim fell upon him as one, fists raining down on him.
Enough!
The roar caused every creature in the court of Urudug to freeze, even the battered Grant.
He is to be taken alive!
Strong arms wrapped around Grant's limbs, placing shackles at his wrists and ankles. He didn't know his own name, and he didn't understand why the world seemed to be moving in slow motion around him. But the reptilian creatures who restrained his powerful arms were eerily familiar. Phantasms of memories hovered just out of reach of his consciousness. While he knew words for things like floor, walls, chains, Nephilim even, he had nothing for the faces, familiar ghostly images in his mind. They should have names, but just like Grant's own name, trying to remember made them all the more elusive, like frightened cockroaches scattering before a sudden light.
I know how insects react to a man's approach, yet I don't know the men and women of my life. Not even my name.
You may tame this one, Shamat. Teach him language, if his consciousness will abide it.
Shamat nodded, glaring at Grant.
Come, giant. We have much to discuss.
The Nephilim hauled Grant to his feet and pushed him toward the doorway that Shamat had indicated. Grant braced the ground with all his strength, anchoring himself against their efforts. There were 4 of the Nephilim drones, at once hauling on his chains with their muscle-bound physiques, and yet Grant was stalling them. This wasn't right to the lost and confused Grant. He had no right to be this strong, as if he had traded his mental clarity for muscle. Though he felt no heavier, he was indeed even swifter. Shamat nodded to the Nephilim with the asp blaster who had shot Grant.
Give him another taste of discipline. It will do him good to realize who his masters are.
The searing energy of the asp charge struck Grant in the kidneys, and his legs buckled. Pain blinded him, and he sank to the floor. Shamat reached down and pulled on the massive human. Grant thrashed, and his coat sloughed off his shoulders as the man struggled to escape his captivity.
Hit him again!
More asp lightning burned through Grant's nerves. An onslaught of punishment that should have left him a smoldering briquette of charred flesh.
I said enough!
Grant looked up in time to see nearly 10 feet of leonine godling, all sculpted muscle and long limbs, standing over him.
I am tired of this foolish game.
Grant felt all the solid power of the giant's crashing fist on his jaw, as if the half-Anunnaki lord of this time-lost court were the only other real thing in this turgid dream. Blessed unconsciousness descended upon Grant.